Alright folks, welcome back again. My name is Vecron. I'm here to give you some basic tips and tricks to World of Warcraft roleplay. Now, as you may know, we have certain tools that assist in the roleplay. For example, we've got these consumables on my right hand side, and I'm gonna try and show you what each of them does. I've got my friend over here dancing around, Yaungos. Great dude. He accepted my invitation to come and help me showcase some stuff. Of course, he's marked as OC. I am as well. And yeah, basically our first item on agenda is Reflecting Prism. That is a simple way for you to just take someone else's appearance, right? But you do need to be in group. So Youngos and myself, we're currently formed a party. And if I press this button over here, right click on it, there we go. Now I am Youngos. If I go dance, there we go. And if I want to go back to my own character, I can either right click this reflection or I can just swap again. It lasts for 5 minutes and it can be used, within your party to whoever agrees to give you their appearance, I guess, right? So now we're gonna whisper Yawn and we're just gonna say like, okay, done, thank you, that's about it. Go back to services. And what else do we have? We have this next item being well, whatever this is, I'm not even gonna pretend that I can read it. Basically it makes your model slightly smaller, so you go ahead and consume it and you slightly shrink. It's barely visible, but I do think they stack, and they do. If you get like 10 of those, you're gonna really shrink a lot. So that's a fun way if you want to play like a petite character, like someone who's very small, or for whatever reason it is what it is, you can do it via this potion. It only lasts for 2 hours, but it is extremely cheap on auction house, so you can easily obtain it. Right now we're gonna right click on it and return to our full size. See, we grew slightly larger. Now there is same potion, same name. I'm not even gonna try to read it, but it does opposite thing, right? This one makes you slightly taller. Now this is when you want to be, warrior or something, and this is acceptable way to increase the size of your character, right? Because it's not too big. You're not like too big of a model. It's not like you're one of the NPCs in the main dungeon or something. It's just slightly taller than average model of that size. For example, if we're both trolls and I have like 2 stacks of this, I'm gonna be slightly taller than you, and that's acceptable within roleplay community, right? What is not acceptable is you taking a giant growth potion. So this potion makes you ridiculously big, right? So let's go and pop it. Like, look at the difference in size. This is ridiculous. Let's go and stand next to this walking NPC or Yeongos. Like, this is just immersion breaking, right? So we're too tall. So we can cancel it, go back to original size, pop it up again. Again, it's really cheap, and this is one of those potions that you'd really not want to use because it's not something that's acceptable within community. Of course, you can roleplay the way you want. There are going to be people who are simply not going to care about the size of your model, but there are also going to be people who are going to think this is ridiculous. And honestly, myself, I'm one of those people who are giant growth haters, right? So yeah, just if you can, just avoid using this one. Then we have Dark Moon Firewater. That's something between, you're not as big as giant growth, but you're also slightly bigger. Like, for example, that's instant 10 stacks of whatever this last potion name was. See, slightly taller. This is again on the edge of being acceptable. For example, it's much more acceptable than giant growth, but still not something I'd play around. This is not, my cup of tea. So yeah, I just stay out of the potions in general, right? Because once you decide that your character is going to be using potions, you have to dedicate yourself to that matter. Every time you roleplay, every time you log into that character, you will always have to pop those potions, and at one point it just becomes chore, right? If you want to have a character who is constantly higher above everyone else, It's ridiculous. You're gonna waste a lot of money on action house, which if you're good in making money, it's fair, but if you're not, then you're just basically wasting money. So next example, if you want to have a cross guild roleplay, we can meet up with the alliance, but then we come to another problem, right? Alliance speaks common and we as a horde speak orcish, so there's no way for us to understand other people unless we're using elixir of tongues. So what elixir of tongues does, it allows you to speak the other faction's common language, right? So common or orcish if you're using it on the alliance side. Now I don't have a good way to show you this at the moment. I didn't came prepared with my alliance friend. I would just pop this potion and then for 1 hour you would understand common tongue just normally, as if they were writing in orcish, right? So yeah, those are some useful potions and useful tools in general you can use for roleplay. Well, some of them are more useful, some of them less, but overall it's once you get familiar with how you want to roleplay, I'd say it's a good thing to go on auction house and actually find out what's good and what's not. So again, roleplay, it's your fantasy, you can do whatever you want to do, just go easy on it, especially as if you're a beginner. There's going to be a lot of people who don't like that stuff, and as always, roleplay is about everyone having fun. It's not about you being a main character, it's your group being main characters, right? So you have to take into consideration what other people think, because you are going to roleplay within a community and you don't want to be this edgelord, this outcast who, your character can be that, but that's a fine edge that you're walking. And for beginners, I'd highly encourage just normal character, peon for example, or just a normal warrior, nothing too out of the ordinary, not like this chosen of the aspects Draktyr who's gonna be like 10 meters tall as building. I'm unable to go into Waver's Inn because I'm too tall and so on. No, we're not gonna do that. So basically we're just gonna roleplay a normal character, normal size, just as average as possible. That's highly recommended, especially for beginners. Oh, also try not to walk through NPCs, because this is also immersion breaking. Yeah, we want to avoid this. Overall, that's about it for today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and yeah, like, share, subscribe, whatever. I don't even know how to use this. I'm still trying to learn my way around the social networks and recording and everything, so every single help or support, it's highly appreciated. Of course, if I missed something, feel free to go in the comments, let me know what I missed. Let's start the discussion. Let's see if we can help each other grow. Thank you so much and have a good one.